Welcome in, everybody. Talking some NFL draft this morning as the draft is coming up Thursday night in Cleveland, Ohio. Scott Griffin, longtime television personality in Birmingham, is with us. And Scott, I know you've covered Alabama probably deeper and longer than anybody I know. It's going to be an interesting draft on Thursday for Alabama, as it has been for the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, they should have their typical 4 to 5 to possibly 6 guys taken, maybe outside 7. But I think you and I deduced yesterday, probably 5 for sure that should go in the first round. You never know what's going to happen, but they just, they're there every year near the top, along with the Ohio States and Clemsons of the world, depending on the year. And this year's no different.
Right. We talked also this draft, as it seems like every draft is quarterback heavy at the top.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to think it's Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags with the first pick. And then you've got 3 or 4 quarterbacks after that have a chance to go in the top 10. Are we kind of overdoing the quarterback thing, or teams too high on quarterbacks, or should they just be taking the best available player that's out there?
Well, it depends on the team's need, obviously. Some of them need a quarterback, like Jacksonville definitely needs a quarterback, and that's kind of a no-brainer, Trevor Lawrence. I think he's the best quarterback out there. My opinion changes after that, like a lot of people. Everybody knows and thinks Zach Wilson will go second to the Jets. But to your point, to me, it's just kind of different because we're such an instantaneous gratification deal. The Jets draft Sam Darnold, 3 years ago? And he was supposed to be the greatest thing ever. He's not played poorly. He's on a bad team, right? Can you name me some other offensive starters besides Sam Darnold? Probably not. Le'Veon Bell was there for a cup of coffee. But, he's sitting there, and they've already given up on him. He's traded to the Panthers. He's 24 years old, 24.
Right.
A year older.
He's over the hill.
He stayed in college. So he's gone. And now they're going to get Zach Wilson. So are you telling me Zach Wilson's far superior than Sam Darnold in talent? Because I heard the same things about Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's going to be a really good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that instantaneous. If you're not good in 2 or 3 years, this is a team game. You've got to have a good offensive line. You got to have people to throw to. Same thing Tua's going through. Everybody's questioning his abilities last year. Well, he had an offensive coordinator that babied him, and he didn't have much of offensive weapons around it.
Mm-hmm.
He looked kind of average last year. I think when they get some weapons, you'll see a better quarterback. You can't do it alone.
All by yourself. Yeah.
Right. And so you got to have a good quarterback, but I think this, everybody wants to draft the next Mahomes. I talked about it earlier today. The comparison is Pat Mahomes. Well, that's crazy because he's one of the generational kind of talent.
Going to be one of the best ever.
To him, right. That doesn't mean Tom Brady at age 43 can't win, which he did again.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees can't win. They're not close to Mahomes as far as their quarterbacking potential, but I think it's overstated, but it's the way everybody goes, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about Mac Jones a little bit out of Alabama. More and more people have him perhaps a 3rd pick going to the 49ers, which is amazing to me. He got off to a tough start his first year at the end of the year when Tua got hurt. Probably made the most progression of anybody I've ever seen his last year at Alabama. Do you see him going to the 49ers, and what are his highs and lows in the NFL?
Well, I think he's a very good quarterback. And I saw the end of the year when Tua got hurt his junior year differently. I thought he played really well. He had the 2 picks against Auburn, but that was his 2nd start, I think, in his career.
Right.
But he still had 350 yards or whatever. And I liked about him is he forgot bad plays. If you remember, after those plays, he threw touchdowns. So he knows how to get over that. And he ended up with 13 touchdowns and 4 picks in those 4 games he started, and 1,200 yards. Had really good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we know what he did last year. He set up a single season record for 77%. Nobody's completed 77% in college football history. He's very accurate. He thinks the game. He's quick. He's tough. He's athletic enough, but again, we all want to compare that portion to Lamar Jackson. Well, how many are Lamar Jacksons?
Right.
So the intelligence, the accuracy, the decision-making, which are all very key to the quarterback position. Suddenly we want to forget about that because the last few months we focus on arm strength and what does he run the 40 in? And can he
how big is your hand?
And all that stuff that really has nothing to do with playing the quarterback position. I think he's going to be a really good NFL player because of those things I mentioned. And it impressed me that this guy was a 3-star in some services, 4-star in some, and chose Alabama when they had a freshman quarterback named Jalen Hurts, and he was in the same recruiting class as Tua, and he still goes to Alabama.
Yeah.
And then if legend has it, he trash talked and he would change plays, much to Nick Saban's madness, to try to get scout teams to score on Alabama. So he has this moxie about it. You know what I mean? Right. And teammates love him.
But you have to have in the NFL, you have to have that little edge.
He's got it. And that's the other thing I tweeted out the other day. Why do we focus on the intangibles for great players like Jordan, who was obviously a great athlete too, but what made him great was his intangibles. You would agree with that. Brady, Derek Jeter, any great at any sport, there's an intangible. Right. Tiger's got that will to win. Is he talented? Of course he is.
Yeah.
What is he that much talented more than anybody else? No, he's got a will to win and prepare.
As we mentioned, a handful of Alabama guys, maybe more in the first round. Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner, is one of the guys that people are looking at in the top 15 picks. What do you think about his career in the National Football League? A lot of the big question mark, I guess, is size, and can he stay healthy in the NFL?
Yeah. And yet, to me, that's just a narrative again that there's no proof. The only time he was injured at Alabama was a finger, right, in the championship game. So he really played his whole career without any injuries.
Right.
And what you got to do is look at, yes, he's light. He needs to gain weight. We all know that. He's 170, 166, whatever he is. But I would point to Marvin Harrison, was the 19th pick in the draft out of Syracuse, 6'1", 175, and ended up having a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
So, sure, you would love a 6'1", 220-pound Julio Jones. Who wouldn't? How many of those are there? Not many.
Right.
So, Jamar Chase of LSU is certainly a big, strong guy. He'll probably be the first receiver taken by the Bengals, I think, at 5th. But I think Devontae Smith goes 6th to the Dolphins. I think you get that, just like the Burrow-Chase connection.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get Devontae Smith and Tua connection that you have? He's tough. I think he's a special guy. I think he showed that. He's got great hands. He's got long arms. He runs. He doesn't look fast, but he is fast because he glides. He's a special player.
Yeah, he really is. And you've got down the list, I guess, Patrick Surtain on the defensive side, Najee Harris. A little bit of a question mark there, first round, second round, but whoever picks up Najee is going to get a good running back. Harris,
I think, will be first round only because there are two teams that are real close to being good that lack running backs. I think he goes either 18th to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins could draft 2 Alabama guys to go with Tua Tagovailoa. And let's not forget, their general manager worked with Nick Saban. So there's a special connection there.
Yeah.
Or they say at worst, it'll be 24th to the Steelers.
It's become an every year party for Alabama, the NFL draft in the first round. Tremendous talent in Tuscaloosa. Scott, always fun to visit. It seldom turns out like the experts say, the NFL draft, but we'll see what happens Thursday night.
Isn't it crazy? Because we don't see trades. Like if Jones, let's say the Niners don't take Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Well, suddenly
it mixes everything up.
He would have gone, would be the Panthers at 8. Well, they traded for Sam Darnold, so he's not going there.
Yeah.
So suddenly now we're talking about in the teens. You go from 3rd to the teens.
Could go 10 spots.
Right. So does Belichick go, I'm going to make sure I get that guy and move from 15 to 12 or 11 or whomever, 3rd round pick to move up 3 slots to take a Jones? that's the stuff you're talking about. And inevitably, you're right. Something weird. And it only takes one weird move to kind of throw it off kilter. So, we'll see.